So is the screen visible, sir? Venu, sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. The topic allotted to me was critical issues in hospitality and tourism sector. So during this presentation, I've identified certain issues, basically certain use cases which I've come across in the hospitality and tourism sector. Did the homework on that as to what would be the tax implication, and many of these cases were in fact instances where notice was issued and then we have represented before the department, and I also have tried to include the arguments that we have taken, uh, and then cumulatively we can come to an understanding as to what could be the stand that we take in each of these issues. So the first issue that I wanted to cover was this reversal of ITC on account of this explanation number 4 of 11/2017. All of us are aware that certain tax rates, certain lower tax rates are prescribed with the condition that ITC on goods or services that are used in providing such services not claimed. To this extent, an explanation number 4 is added in the notification 11/17, which says that wherever a rate has been prescribed in this notification, subject to the condition that credit of input charged on goods or service used in supplying the services has not been taken, it shall mean that credit of input charged on goods or services used exclusively in supplying such services not been taken, and credit of input charged on goods or services used partly for supplying such service and partly for effecting other supplies for which ITC is eligible is reversed as if such service is as an exempt supply and attracts provisions of 17(2) of the CGST Act and rules made thereunder. So effectively, this explanation states that wherever a rate is a lower rate is prescribed with the condition that ITC is not to be taken on goods or services. Now, this firstly, we are not supposed to take any ITC which is used exclusively in supplying such service. And secondly, this turnover shall be considered as an exempt turnover for the purpose of our Rule 42 reversals for all the common ITC that we have to reverse. So with this background, I wanted to highlight one case where let's talk about an air travel economy class. Here the rate is prescribed at 5%, but the condition is the ITC of input tax charged on goods used in supplying the service has not been taken. So here it does not read saying provided ITC on ITC of goods or services used. Rather, it only restricts the ITC of goods that are used in providing the service to not be taken. Now,
Give me example of
sorry,
good. Give me example of goods referred to in this condition.
so it could be what to say. So
Aircraft.
aircraft is one, and then all the supplies, right?
So see, the requirement here is not that on the food supplied whether they can take ITC or not.
Correct, sir.
The aircraft itself, you should not take credit.
Right. So aircraft is the the restriction that is placed here. Now the contention is, can we take ITC on input services that are used in supplying the service? Also, the input services which are common to other services that I am also providing. Now, let's talk about an international airline where they have passenger transportation and they have goods transportation service. So, economy class is 5%, business class is 12% without any condition, and there is goods transportation without any condition. It is taxed at the rate of 18%. Now, in this particular case, let's say we haven't taken any ITC on goods, but however, we have claimed ITC on all the services, whether it is directly in relation to the passenger transportation or uh, other input services that are required for me in the course of the business to be incurred. Now, the question is, should I reverse input tax credit on all the common ITC, basically our rent of the head office, all your accounting software, your legal and compliance, all the other services which are not directly in relation to the passenger transportation, where this condition of 5% is prescribed. So the question came up was, should the ITC be reversed on these common ITCs because of the explanation number 4, which reads that wherever a rate is prescribed with a wherever a lower rate is prescribed with a condition, this shall be considered as an exempt turnover for the purpose of those services or goods which are partly used for this service and partly used for other services. Now, coming to the understanding, I believe that there should not be any reversal on any of the input services that we are claiming. Firstly, because the restriction is only on the goods that are used and not on the services. Explanation states that this has to be considered, that this turnover has to be considered for the purpose of 17(2) and Rule 42. I believe this explanation is worded generally because there are instances where both goods and services are restricted and only goods are restricted, or cases where only services are restricted. So this explanation number 4 has to be read contextually in each of those cases, where if goods and services are restricted, then yes, we have to do Rule 42 for both goods and services. Where only goods are restricted, then ITC on all the services are eligible and not, there's no requirement for us to do any Rule 42 reversal for any of the input service that I take if I am covered for a case where the rate prescribes the condition that input tax for goods alone is not taken.
Vinay, can you put up that explanation 4
Yes, sir.
on the screen? We'll read what it says. Wherever a rate has been prescribed in this notification, subject to the condition that credit of input tax charge on goods or services has not been taken, it shall mean that credit of input tax charge on goods or services used exclusively has not been taken, and credit of input tax charge for supplying such service and partly for affecting other supplies. So Rule 42 will come in clause B.
Correct, sir.
In clause A, there is an absolute embargo.
So
They
this
are
is
not
the case.
saying, I'll just submit this. They are not saying that these will be. Are they saying that this will be an exempt supply in clause A or clause B?
It's an exempt service, exempt supply in clause B, sir.
Which means goods credit is not taken at 2.5% is the rate of tax. Does it make it an exempt supply for purposes of clause B? In clause A, on the aircraft, you will not take credit. But in clause B, is this tariff entry and the corresponding turnover an exempt supply by fiction for purposes of 17(2)?
It is by fiction an exempt supply for
Then
17.
why 42 will not apply for common services?
So that's because if you see the way this, where there are various entities wherein in this condition they have said input tax charge on goods and services are not used, or there are instances where only goods are not used. So
but
there is
if it is goods and services or only goods, what difference will it make? Will it make this much of turnover a taxable turnover for Rule 42 purpose, or it will be an exempt turnover for 42 purpose?
So what I'm trying to say here, sir. So though this explanation has this, clause B where it deems it to be an exempt turnover, this eventually has to go back to the entry where the restriction is placed. Now, the restriction in the air transportation service is only on the goods. There is no restriction on the input services that
I understood. You're repeating yourself. For clause A, on the goods, you will not take credit. But you considered that for clause B, this entire turnover is an exempt turnover for 42 purpose. Once it is considered to be an exempt turnover, full play should be given to Rule 42. See, there are entries where goods and services you can't take credit. It is barred from credit under clause A, but does not mean it will become a taxable supply for clause B. Then we will end up like we are not giving effect to clause B. If we treat it as not an exempt turnover.
Okay.
Because look at the construct where the tariff rate has a condition. Does
Right.
this tariff rate have a condition? Then two things should be done. One, what is said in column 5 has to be complied. Two, in addition to complying with column 5, treat it as exempt supply for clause B.
Mhm. Okay, so irrespective of the fact that on input services there's no mention there, it still becomes
See,
exempt supply.
let me give another example. If it says inputs for air transport service by economy class,
Hmm.
services used exclusively, you will still get credits, but common credits you have to reverse.
Okay.
My next question was, can you name what is the service they will use for economy class air travel? Goods, I understand. What are the services? Now let's take an example of, they have commission agents for selling tickets.
Correct.
They have an outsource agency for ground staff, where
Correct.
they're providing manpower supply. Will they get
Correct.
credit or not?
On those cases, we should get credit, sir.
Will that be treated as common credit?
It shouldn't, because
It
it's
will
used.
not be. The common credit, like you said, is the corporate overhead, so on and so
Right.
forth.
Right. Okay.
All right, continue.
So that was the understanding that I had. I thought, because the restriction is only on the goods. For services, there wouldn't be any restriction, and accordingly, we should read explanation number 4 to cover only those instances where goods are covered. Then it is for goods. For services, it will not be, included. This
See, but
was the
17.5 AA says on aircraft you can take credit. Is this condition conflicting with the 17.5?
so that was, I was coming to that, sir, actually, because
Sorry, Ma. Go ahead. I'll wait.
Correct. Sir, actually, you're right, because 17.5 AA allows me to take credit if I'm involved in a passenger transportation service. But this rate comes with a condition that I'm not supposed to take any ITC charged on goods used in supplying the service. Now it's important to see the rate notification. I'll just open that. I'll open the preliminary part, sir, wherein it draws power from subsection 9, 11, 15, 16, and 148. So there is no references to 17.5. But however, since section 16 is there, I think it is right in disallowing the credit on the aircraft that can be used for the purpose of charging a lower rate of tax. Is it right in reading it this way, sir?
So is 5% optional?
Correct.
Sir, how can it be optional?
No, I'm asking.
So that was that was another question I had in the presentation. So when we have these rates where a condition is prescribed with a lower rate of tax, can it mean that if I don't satisfy this condition, I go to the residuary clause? Where I'm coming from is I will show certain instances. So let's take passenger transportation itself. So we belong to the first, sorry, it is here. So it is transportation of passenger with or without accompany, 2.5%. Now, if I come to the residuary clause, it says passenger transportation other than 1, 2, 3, 4, so and so above. Now, I will go to accommodation services, wherein again a residuary clause is there, but there's an explanation which says for the purpose of removal of doubt, it is clarified that supplies covered under 2, 3, 4 above shall attract the rate as specified in column 4, subject to condition, which is mandatory rate and shall not be levied at the rate specified in this entry. So there are various instances where the residuary clause has this explanation, where the residuary clause does not have this explanation. So I personally think that though this explanation is not there in this particular case, it should not affect because it is other than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the above. Is it right in reading it that way, sir?
Now we'll collect everyone's views.
So you got the context, sir, right, from where I'm coming from, because that was one of the questions I had in the later part.
We'll get everyone's views.
Yes, sir. If I should repeat the
Oh,
question, I can do that.
So Vinay, your stand is that it is not an optional entry. Is it that stand?
Yes, ma'am. So though the many times the residuary clause, as I showed, contains this explicit.
Got it. So your stand is that even though that explanation is
It's
missing, we
not
should
there.
read it as
Yeah,
like it is present. Correct?
because of this other than 1, 2, 3
No.
of this. I think this should be able to cover those entries in those entries itself and not in the residuary clause.
I also agree to what you're stating, Vinay.
See, Raghuram sir has given a view that tariff conditions make the tariff entry optional.
Okay, sir. So that means if I don't satisfy this condition, this becomes optional for me.
Now, let's say somebody falls under this entry where 5% they have charged and deposited with the department, and they have taken ITC. So cause notice should be given for denying ITC or demanding differential tax.
Denying ITC, sir.
Denying ITC.
Demanding differential tax.
See, that's the beauty of litigation. Whatever they say, you will say the opposite. You got it?
Got it, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So now we go back and ask the question, is this tariff entry optional? Sir does not say it without reason. He has a view in mind to see how he will address it in, let's say, a court. Now you see, if you get a show cause notice denying ITC, under which clause will they deny? 16.1, 17.2, 17.5? No. You will say you should have demanded differential tax. If they demand differential tax, you will say that you should have denied IT. You understand, no?
Right, sir. Right. Got it, sir.
Now, which is the entry? Now you showed entry number 8 where there is option of 5 and 6. Or 2 and 5 and 12.
Right.
Other than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means for whatsoever reason I don't fit myself into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will fall within residual. You can't force me to fall within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because I have not satisfied condition. If I have opted, see, look at what's happening. If I have opted for 5, for example, serial number 9, where for passenger, for GTA, I have to file that annexure, 5.
Correct, sir.
If I have to file those things, etc., then there is an affirmative action on my part opting for 5. But this structure in serial number 9 is not there in 8 and 10. I was planning to keep quiet only today.
The thing is not able to find how to, not able to understand, get to a conclusive answer saying whether it is optional or not, because not able to find any text or did some homework on this, but again, this is
to 11. In the State Act, there is an explanation.
Right.
To section 11, it says that when there's an exemption in the central law, state law, it's automatic.
Right,
which means if you want to follow something, you can't keep shuffling around. For the purpose of this section, an exemption in respect of any goods. See, when you're treating tariff condition is as an exempt turnover, you can't be switching around. So we have to, and you see 11.4 also. It's not that
I have projected that, sir.
Yeah. So therefore, what I'm with you as far as what you say, it's not optional, but it's not something that is easy for the department to enforce. Because if you say differential tax, the defense will say reverse ITC, demand should be for ITC. If you demand ITC, it say differential tax.
Correct. I was also considering the fact that if we read this explanation, sir, it says where an exemption is absolute, then we are bound to not collect tax and claim the exemption, irrespective of the fact that an exemption comes with a condition or whatever is attached to that. So
Correct.
can we use the same logic for a tax entry as well, saying if a rate is prescribed at a particular rate, irrespective of the condition, it has to be at that particular rate. I mean, it has to be at that rate with the condition and not anything else. Like, can we read it in that fashion, sir?
Yeah.
So this was the closest that I could find in the law to support the view that I had. To say that this rate is the rate, it cannot go to the residuary clause.
Hmm.
Right. Any other views on this, like the residuary clause for the rate?
One point of view,
Yes, sir.
the more specific entry is what has to be preferred over generic entry is the rules of
Correct.
classification. I think if we follow that,
Mhm.
this residual entry may not be made applicable to this particular service.
Right. So sticking on to the same, on the rate of tax, I had another question which I have posted here. So this I have seen various, practices that are there on the same platform. So I was consulting, I was, analyzing how Redbus operates their passenger transportation services. So there are two rates when it comes to passenger transportation by a bus. So the first rate is in the same tariff 9963. So the transportation of passenger with or without accompanied belongings in an air-conditioned contract carriage or air-conditioned stage carriage, it shall be 5% without ITC. Again, stage carriage is defined to include a motor vehicle which carries more than 6 passengers, excluding driver for hire or reward, at separate fare paid by the individual, either for the whole journey or for each stage of the journey. So let's pick a case where I'm booking a bus from Bangalore to Chennai. That gets covered under a stage carriage, and 5% would be the rate of tax if it's an AC bus. For a non-AC bus, it's also 5% because if any sale that happens through an ECO, the exemption is not available, which is available for a normal bus operator, wherein non-AC buses are tax-free. There is also an entry in the same HSN, entry number 6, which talks about transportation of passengers by any motor vehicle designed to carry passenger, where the cost of fuel is included in the consideration charged from the recipient. Here, the rate is 5% without ITC, 12% with ITC. So there are two rates for the same, two rates for the passenger transportation service. Now, I have seen cases where Redbus is charging 5% for many of their buses. They give a declaration saying this is tax paid under tax paid by the ECO, and hence 5% is charged. But there is one particular line of buses called Nugo buses, wherein they charge 12%. So this was something that I did not understand because the 5% under serial number 2 does not have other rate of 6%, whereas entry number 6 has 5 with ITC or 12 without ITC. I'm assuming that this is the rate that they're using, 12% without ITC. So here in this case, as like Kuber sir was trying to say, maybe the most specific thing has to be picked, wherein we have to fall under serial number 2 itself and not serial number 6. But would there be an impediment for me to to pay tax under serial number 6? Because again, it is also covering the service that I have in mind. This was one of the confusions that this is one of the issues that actually came up. One bus operator came to us and they said, Redbus is doing both 5% and 12%. And apparently the arrangement in a 12% scenario is they give the buses on hire to Redbus, and the Redbus operates the bus, the passenger transportation service. So that's the reason they have chosen 12% with ITC, because they wanted to take the ITC of the bus hire. Any views on this?
No, firstly, I haven't seen this, but ideally, I would directly approach Redbus and get a clarification from them as to
We
what
tried
is
doing
this.
that. So we tried doing that. There
Mhm.
was no convincing answer from them. They just said it's 12%. On, I know for this it's 12, for this it's 5. That's all they said. They didn't give us any reasoning as to why it was 12 or
Okay.
5. We tried doing that. We, in fact, started conversation with Redbus to understand why they're doing this.
Okay. So I don't find any reasoning adopting, unless otherwise the tariff entry, they're fitting themselves into the second category.
That is the serial number 6.
Yeah, in the second category, it is specifically both options are given.
Yes.
So they are themselves in this category, and they are definitely not on the left side category.
But they actually fall in the left side category because it's an air-conditioned stage carriage. And they're doing it themselves in other cases wherever they're paying tax on an ECO basis.
No, in a ECO basis,
This is covered in
9.5.
9.5, correct. I believe it should not be done, but again, I was not aware. I mean, not sure as to
See,
why.
9.5 cannot apply to the right side, no? It is when you are providing on a principal to principal, right? It is like, would the right side entry, is it for your stage carriage?
We can use it now, sir, because there is no restriction as such, because it is transportation as service where the fuel is included in the consideration.
Isn't the left side specific and the
It
like
is
right side?
specific. I agree,
Yeah,
left
so
side is more specific. But again, right, this is again not even the general entry. The general entry is entry number 9.
I understand. We have two specific entries, specific separate independent entries. So all that I'm saying is this entry is where other than stage carriage or contract carriage.
The serial number 6, correct?
Serial number 6 is other than stage or contract carriage. Serial number 2 is specific. So when you do like the radio taxis and all, will fit under 6, which do not do operate specific point to point, like like Ola, Uber definitely doesn't.
Serial 2.
See, in this example also, this entry number 6 is more generic. When you are
Correct.
talking about Redbus or Nugo, I think entry number 2, which is the more specific. So
Correct.
so the classification, we are talking about the classification, whereas what we are discussing is what benefit we can get with respect to input tax credit, and then try to see which classification suits our business requirements, may not work. We are classifying the goods or services. According to me, entry number 2 for Redbus, because there is this definition, contract carriage, stage carriage, and radio taxi as specifically defined.
Right.
I don't know how you can fit this Redbus in entry number 6.
Correct. This is what.
And specifically, entry number 6 has this option or.
Correct.
So that particular option is not available for air travel service.
Correct, sir. That's not there. The one which we discussed earlier.
So if it is like not there for air travel, it shouldn't be there for Redbus also. It's like even air travel is including fuel and everything. When you choose Indigo cannot put you into 12% with ITC, wouldn't the same be applicable for the Redbus? Isn't it, Karthik?
Yes, sir. It's the same logic. I still go with what Kuber sir said, that you have to go with the specific entry because they have defined it that way. I mean, it's already included here. So this in serial number 6 and the one that you're trying to say for air travel also, it should not be available. But yeah, I thought I'll just put this up and try getting views, because I was not able to understand from Redbus as to what is the logic for doing this. The only thing that I understood was because the buses are taken on hire, all these Nugo buses are taken on hire, just to offset the ITC of the hire is why they're trying to do this, was the understanding that even the client also had. But yeah, we did not get a conclusive answer from Redbus as to why they're trying to put this under the serial number 6.
So their own category of the buses, they are under entry 6, and where they are acting as a ECO, they are under entry 2.
Yes. So you can actually check it yourself. If you go to Redbus Nugo, it will be 12%. If you book any other Redbus, it will be 5%.
Okay.
And apparently, this is the practice not just in Redbus. It's a practice in I think Flexigo, Intercity. These are all big aggregators. Again, this is in north of India, but Redbus is something that we are familiar here. So these people, I mean, these players are putting it under 12%. Really not sure as to why it should be 12% because there's a specific entry of 5%.
So where do you use 6% entry 6, 12%? Example?
Never thought of that. Because this is very generic in nature, it should.
You consider 6 as other than 2. B2B.
Right, sir.
See, if it is not a stage carriage or a contract carriage,
Mm-hmm.
if it should also not be lease of the bus.
Okay.
For example, you have infants,
Correct.
SRS, all the what's it? Sai.
Correct. Bhagirathis.
So when you look at it from that point of view, if it is contract carriage or stage carriage, do they have contract carriage, stage carriage license? Stage carriage will be BMTC. Contract carriage will be BMTC bus to Sabarimala.
Mm-hmm. Correct, sir.
What is 6? If you see, contract carriage, stage carriage is a question not of fact but of law. What is the license they have taken from RTO?
Okay.
If you have not taken that contract carriage license or stage carriage license, you can't be under 2, no? We are looking at it like a consumer, saying both look like the same thing. But legally, 2 cannot be 6, 6 cannot be 2. If you don't get a contract carriage license or a stage carriage license, you can't be under 2.
Okay. Right. So it's important for me to now go back and check whether they have the license for the stage carriage or not.
Adeppa allied law say bekappa.
Right. Got it.
Now, bari English vocabulary skills itkondu we are having study circle.
Sure, sir.
You got it?
Understood, sir.
It's like auditor and chartered accountant.
Got it. So this one bit I will check and try understanding whether they have it or not. That makes a crucial learning there. So the next issue that was there was whenever we book any air ticket, so the arrangement is in such a way that we approach any tour agent. He is not the one who will be listed on the airline's website or on the airline's books. Rather, he will be an agent of another agent who will be listed on the airline directly. So let's say Indigo has one agent. The big one is RIA, is what I understand. So RIA is listed as an agent of Indigo, and then all of the other tour operators or tour agents or booking agents are agents of RIA. So basically, they are sub agents. So whenever we book any airline airfare or air ticket, so there are multiple sources of income that they generate or tour agent generates on account of the sale of airline ticket. One is definitely the booking fee or the convenience fee that they charge from us. Second could be the margin on the air ticket. Third is the sub agent commission that they receive from RIA, And sometimes I have seen that they directly get it from the airline itself. Now, the question that I had was whether should we pay tax separately on each of these line items, or will Rule 32(3), which specifically deals with violation of service for booking of tickets, cover all the forms of commission that are all the forms of incomes that I earn on any air travel ticket within the 5% base fare or within the 10% base fare on international? So the Rule 32 states that supply of services in relation to booking of ticket for travel by air shall be 5% of base fare in case of domestic and 10% of base fare in case of international. Here, I feel it shouldn't be covered because the contractual arrangements are with two different people. The margin and the convenience fee is charged from a customer. So tax has to be paid on that basis the 5% of the base fare or 10%. But when it comes to a commission that is from the airline or the agent commission, I feel it is more so to do with the airline or the agent for the purpose of selling the air tickets. So we cannot club these two and say that Rule 32(3) covers everything in totality in relation to booking of an air ticket. Why I brought this up is because I have seen instances where an argument is put forth saying in relation to booking of air ticket is wide enough, broad enough to cover all sorts of incomes that are generated by an air agent when they sell an air ticket. Now, to give a little background, all of us know, air agents are accredited by IATA, that is International Air Travel Association. So I remember reading an IATA report which states that even in the earlier service tax law, they have advised their air agents to not discharge service tax separately on commission because they were of the view that this Rule 32, which has similar in service tax as well, includes all sorts of commission, margin, booking fee, everything in the within its ambit, and 5% of the base fare should be sufficient to take care of the levy of service tax, and you don't have to pay service tax separately on the commission. But I believe it's not correct. These are two different transactions and two different contractual arrangements. Hence, it cannot be clubbed. Any views on this? Venu sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay, so I'll just share one thing. We'll go to the entry.
This 32(3), sir, or the air travel?
No, air travel.
Just a minute. Here, sir.
For agent. See, whether we can take credit on the services or not is a very old decision in Central Excise. Very relevant here. Actually, there's a long list of disputes that came up in SESTAT.
Okay, sir.
The interpretation of the language of any entry can be validated by comparing the language used in other entries in the same notification.
Right.
For the benefit of everyone, I'll repeat again. The interpretation of the language used in any entry can be understood by comparing the language used in other entries in the same notification. If you look at passenger transport service, it says credit will be allowed of same line of business. For cab services, credit is allowed. Credit is not allowed on the goods or services other than same line of business. You agree? So now, which means if I am a taxi operator and I have taken Vinay's taxi, I will not get audit fee credit. I will not get office rent credit, but I will get tax charged by Vinay because it is same line of business. If in the air travel agent context, the credit should be allowed only of RIA, then they would have said same line of business. Since they are not saying same line of business, there is nothing expressed in the tariff condition to restrict it to same line of business.
Correct, sir.
Entry 8, Roman 6, what you showed in the screen, same line of business. You showed in the screen. Okay.
It's here. Same line of business. Correct, sir. It's here.
If they want to say SLOB, then they would have said that specifically.
Hmm,
When they
hmm, hmm.
don't say it, when they have said it in entry 8.6, there is nothing coming in the way for them to not say it in other places.
Right. Sir, also on the same line, sir, if we clearly observe that there are some instances, for example, the first entry in this entry 8, the please refer to explanation 4 is missing. Though this comes with a condition of 5% without ITC. So can we mean that this will not be included in the Rule 42? This will not be covered as exempt turnover for the purpose of Rule 42 because it does not refer to explanation 4? Or explanation 4 is sufficient to say wherever it is prescribed, you come in, put it as exempt turnover?
If we see the explanation itself,
Okay.
it says wherever the entry has a condition. It does not
Right.
say wherever I have told it to come to explanation 4.
Right.
This is
Because
another example of meticulous drafting.
Sir, so to the issue that I brought up, sir, is it right to say that even the commission gets included in this Rule 32(3), sir? Because I don't recollect the cases, but I remember reading them very clearly saying that all forms of commission, margin, convenience fee gets clubbed for the purpose of this 5%, 10%, and tax paid on that is sufficient.
Correct. See, but actually, it is only between airline and the agent. CRS commission, etc., will be taxed separately.
Right.
You have the default judgment. So, a travel agent can take all credits while paying 5% on base fare.
Correct. So, and that can I get the notice, the citation of the judgment that you said, sir, which it could help us.
It started with Khan Bhai, Yusuf Bhai, then Super Cassettes, Ashok Ayan. I try and share. I have a paper.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Actually, Gururaj sir had written an article in ELT many years ago saying why this rule of interpretation being used in Khan Bhai, Yusuf Bhai is wrong.
Okay. Sure, sir. I will also try searching for that. Khan Bhai, Yusuf Bhai, right, sir?
Yeah. I'll give you. I'll send it on the group.
Sure, sir.
Got
it. Sure. Got it. So moving to the next another contentious issue. So let's take an example of an event managing company. Say in this case, we were registered in Karnataka. The client used to get a lot of orders for events that have to be held in, say, outside the state of Karnataka, say Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, all these corporate hubs. So they used to, they identify the places, they talk to the venue, say the hotel, and the cost of accommodation, including your food, everything. They get it billed in their name, and then eventually they would raise a bill on the end customer who approached me for organizing an event. Now, all of us know cost of venue and stay attracts CGST and SGST of the respective state where the property is located because it's an immobile related service. Now, ideally, this GST of 18 or 12% would become a cost because the POS is in the state other than the state of registration, and there is no mechanism to claim the credit charged on that particular line item. So the question that came up was, can I take CGST portion only and reverse the SGST portion, as in because since 3B does not allow me to take only one bit. I take both the credits and reverse only the SGST portion, and effectively retaining the CGST amount. So this is the question that came up. So to this, when we tried analyzing, we sort of understood that let's go back to the definition of input tax. Here it talks about any tax charged on any supply made to the registered person, and it includes CGST payable under CGST Act and SGST payable under the respective SGST Act. And section 16 permits me to take ITC if it's in the course of business. Again, 16 says on any supply, so it does not restrict it to supplies that are received where the place of supply is in the state where I'm registered. Second, there is no restriction in section 16 to say that the place of supply should be in the state where the registered person is located. Moreover, these cost of venue and stay is an integral part of my end billing, which happens to the customer, because I procure these input services, I bundle them together, and then I sell it to my client. So this way, if I'm not allowed to take ITC, it would be a substantial portion because 18 or 12% is the rate of tax. And ITC of CGST should be allowed, is what I believe. But procedurally in 2B, it will be marked as ineligible. How do we take is another challenge. Now, the notice that we got, there the facts were only CGST was claimed, as in CGST, SGST was claimed and SGST was reversed, effectively retaining the CGST portion. Now, ITC was disallowed on this specific allegation, saying the POS is other than the state of registration. So I've just extracted this for our reference. So here it says on verification of 3B with respect to that available in 2A, it is noticed that taxpayer has availed ITC on supplies not received by the taxpayer, and the place of supply is different from the registered premise of the taxpayer, which is contravention of section 16 of the CGST Act. So here they're trying to say that I haven't received the services because the POS is in a state other than where I am registered. So to this, the submission that I had was, see, section 16 does not have any such condition that the POS has to be in the state where I am registered. Moreover, there's one circular 184 which was issued in relation to clarifying the ITC that is available on goods transportation service in terms of the erstwhile proviso to section 12(8) of the IGST Act, which provided that if both the recipient and supplier are in India, but if the transportation of goods is to place outside India, it shall be the destination. The place of supply was destination based for this particular transaction. Accordingly, all of us used to pay tax, selecting 97 as the tax territory, and we used to put that as a place of supply. So this circular categorically stated that the said provisions do not restrict availment of input tax credit by the recipient located in India if the place of supply of the input is outside the India. So going by the same logic, POS is not a condition under section 16. I believe that ITC of the CGST portion can be taken. Also considering that CGST is just one act across the country, and SGST is something that is independent for each of the states.
Okay, we'll hear everybody on this hypothesis.
Also, I just wanted to understand if I took the CGST portion, what could be the ground for disallowing this credit? Because other than this POS, I was not sure how can we disallow this credit. I mean, how do we circumvent this claim?
Okay, people. ಎಲ್ಲ ಟಿಫನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೇನ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ?
I believe 29 and 33 CGST are still different. It's quad-state.
How are we reading that, sir? That it is for each of the state respectively?
Just give me 2 minutes. I'm thinking.
Sure.
Vinay,
Yes, sir.
there are 31 CGST acts.
31 CGST Acts.
There are 31 CGST acts. There are 31 state and UT acts. There's one IGST act.
Okay.
You don't have to enact 31 times the CGST act when you're reading it in the light of the distinct person fiction. Imagine you are a different person altogether, different company, or A Limited, B Limited.
Mm-hmm.
Will you try to claim B Limited's credit in A Limited's books?
We will not.
So it does not require, everything need not be expressly stated that you cannot do for us to comply with it. You pay tax in Karnataka,
Right.
CGST and KGST. You're trying to take credit of the CGST in Maharashtra.
Right.
In Karnataka, you are B Limited. In Maharashtra, you are A Limited. How can A Limited take B Limited's credit?
So, but this is a service. I mean, this invoice will be raised on the 29 registration itself.
Invoice
not
is
like-
the tax.
Yes.
You
Yes.
understood, but now
I got the point,
you're
sir.
exploring further. It's not like you don't know, you know, but I'm only reflecting on the commitment you made that in according to you, CGST credit can be taken, SGST credit cannot be taken. So there. You also
Right.
understand the reasoning what everyone is offering. It's just that you're taking a stand that it is not necessary because it is one act over across the whole country. Look at it as 31 central GST acts.
Mm-hmm. So, just another question, sir. So, when they gave this notice, like this is the actual charging provisions of the notice. So, if they had they mentioned that, see, this is it has to be read in this particular fashion, would it have made their case more stronger than just saying that the POS is in the state other than the state of registration? Just for my understanding.
In which para 9 or 10?
In any of these two, because both of them are more or less the same, sir.
So may I?
Please.
So Vinay,
Yes, sir.
now if you agree that the CGST is separate state by state, then when the place of supply is of other state, wouldn't it be like the A and B? I get your point. See, the invoice is to state 29, but the place of supply is state 33. So the moment
Correct.
place of supply is state 33, isn't it credit of state 33 CGST? It's like where if we distinguish, there are two entities A and B.
Hmm.
So though the invoice came to 29, but it is specifically saying that it belongs to 33.
Right.
So it is not of 29, right?
Because the
Because
POS is
I have a registration in Tamil Nadu, I have registration in Karnataka.
right.
They have chose to give the invoice to Karnataka with the place of supply being 33.
Correct, sir. So that's the case where I have a registration, but here I do not
Assuming
have.
you, no, okay. In fact, having registration, doesn't having registration would also be the same.
Correct. So that's more.
So even I am sharing from my logical understanding of why not. I am not giving you the legal answer, but It's like I
Ah.
am not convinced that why it should be of A when it is specifically mentioning it is of B.
I was in fact even going, reading section 17 of the IGST Act, which dealt with distribution of IGST that was collected amongst the state and the center. So a similar thing was, I mean, I did not find it in our CGST Act. So I was also considering that, okay, whenever it is a CGST, SGST transaction, the SGST, the understanding is the SGST goes to the state and the CGST is retained by the center. And then out of this pool of the CGST, how it's distributed is again a decision of the policy. I mean, it's a policy decision, how much of this should go to each of the states. So also considering that the CGST is at the disposal of the central government, can we not, again, this goes back to the same argument that CGST is one act, but yeah, if we say CGST is 31 acts, I would be wrong in stating that CGST can be taken here.
Can I offer? So
Yes, ma'am.
section of our CGST Act, which is like the charging section, it says there shall be levied a tax called CGST on all intrastate supplies. So if a supply is intrastate, then the place of supply should be the same state, right? It ideally cannot be another state.
Right.
So if the place of supply is another state, it is not intrastate. So can there be something which we can look at over there?
So the intrastate is place of supply and location of the supplier, not the location of the recipient. So if I go to this particular instance where the venue is located, so the supplier is also in Tamil Nadu, the case as Venu sir said, and the place of supply is also in Tamil Nadu. So that's the reason it becomes CGST and Tamil Nadu GST. So the location of the recipient is not relevant for POS issues, for POS identification.
I'm thinking about it.
Location of recipient is not relevant for POS purpose.
Sorry, I didn't mean it that way, sir. Sorry, interstate or intrastate. My bad. I correct myself.
ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಏನಪ್ಪ
Sir, sorry. I that was a wrong statement. For POS, yeah, location is recipient is required, but for interstate or intrastate, the POS and location of supplier is required. My bad.
You understood something that even I didn't understand.
No,
In this context.
this
But
12
okay,
and
now-
13 has this location of recipient, sir. I thought you're coming from there. I realized after you pointed out. I didn't realize it before that.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಂಗ
Hello, sir, but Togopada is the question. I agree that it is 31 states. I am also the same view. But the fact that we are at the stage of litigation for this particular matter, how do we take this forward? Like, do we say that, okay, it's just a frivolous litigation that we're doing and then just cave into this? Or we argue, again, here the allegation is this POS is in the state other than the registered premises. Let's say if the allegation was something else, would it put me in much more danger, or would it be a stronger case for the department? Was what I wanted to understand.
Saying you can litigate. I'm only saying that the basis to continue this litigation, just consider it once.
Got it.
Right?
Sure.
Is
Yeah.
a SCN issued by state or center?
This is center. So yeah, we filed actually we got it at the stage of appeal. We filed the appeal. We've not heard it yet, so I do not know what's the view of the department. So I thought if the appeal would the hearing would have happened, I would have put forth the view of the commissioner as well here.
Commissioner, what view he'll have? What does he know?
I think he'll only say that how can you take CGST, SGST,
That's
stating
all.
the
If he
same.
passes a garbage order, he will get promotion. If he passes a good order, he will not get promotion.
Correct, sir.
In 128A, na?
This one, sir? No.
Not pushing
This,
for 128A.
that's what, sir. I wanted to understand. Is it a strong case to fight, or do we push it to 128A and then?
I think zero chance of success.
Okay. But these are the allegations and the grounds on which the ITC is
But you
disallowed.
know, when a notice is badly drafted, unless you go very technical in your objections and appeal,
Mm-hmm.
some curative attempts will be made. Where is
Right.
16.2D, etc. and all this? You claim credit. That's why it is appearing in a ledger. How can
Right.
they bring 16.2D? But you know, they'll do all sorts of things.
Right. Got it. Sure, sir. I understand.
Yeah, but that very interesting to examine it from the point that you are canvassing. We'll hear others.
Yes, sir. Any other views from others?
As far as only CGST claim is concerned, I always thought that only with respect to transition provision that is possible and in no other case.
Mm-hmm.
The other view may be I am registered in Karnataka, so I have registered in Karnataka, but I will be unregistered in the other state. So in that state, you're not registered and filed the return. Because of that angle, they are trying to demand.
So going by that argument, so that I'm unregistered in the other state. Let's say I have an immovable property taken on it now, coming from the recent amendment in 13 notification. So there it says if any property is given to an unregistered person, I'm supposed to pay under I have to pay under reverse charge. So if I have to,
What? Any property given to unregistered person and owner also unregistered, no payment of tax only.
oh yeah, this is
Only if the
unregistered.
landlord is unregistered,
Yeah.
tenant is registered.
Right. Sorry, sir. Yeah, correct.
You have taken a property in other state where the landlord is unregistered. You
Yes.
don't have a registration in that state. You are paying under RCM.
Yes. Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah.
Question is, have you registered in that state? No. So would you be treating yourself as URD to URD or URD to RD?
Correct, sir.
I would say it is still URD to RD, and you pay RCM of that state.
So this one procedural problem. If I say it's an URD to RD case, I have to discharge RCM in this 3B where in the state of Karnataka.
I think RCM is of that state and not this state.
Right. So I file 3B here, or I'm supposed to take registration there.
See, if you're not registered in that state, you don't pay tax in that state. You're supposed to take registration, etc. It's a matter of inquiry.
Mm-hmm.
To say that you're supposed to register in that state, they have to bring you within place of business, fixed establishment,
Right.
etc. You need not have a fixed establishment in that state. You can just have a company guest house. Company in Delhi, factory in Gurgaon, but guest house in Noida.
Right.
No RCM in Uttar Pradesh.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sir. So Venu sir, should I continue or do I take?
Please continue. No, we'll complete.
Okay. Moving to the next issue. Again, this is in relation to this hotel accommodation. So this is something that I came across when we were trying to understand how the revenue gets recognized and on what basis the tax is paid in a hotel accommodation business. So I was given to understand that all the accounting of revenue happens on per night of occupancy basis. That is on an accrual basis. This is done for the purpose of MISs to understand what's the occupation each of the night so that they can forecast their demand and then adjust the price accordingly. Now, but what is happening here is, even though the accrual is happening on per night basis, the tax is also being paid on per night basis. So let's take an example. In month 1, I check in at 29th of April, I check in. So in April, revenue is recognized for 2 nights, that is 29th and 30th. In month 2, I check out at 5th, on 5th of May. Now there in month 2, revenue is recognized for 4 nights, 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Now what is happening is, in month 1, GST is getting paid on 2 nights, and in month 2, GST is getting paid on 4 nights. But when it comes to disclosure, because I haven't raised any invoice on the customer, it could be a B2C or B2B customer, whatever basis the registration of the person. So this 2 nights is getting disclosed as B2C turnover. And in month 2, when I actually raise an invoice, for B2B, it is going as a turnover for 6 nights, and B2C of the current month is getting adjusted for 2 nights. So when we asked what is the reason for doing such a thing, we were given to understand that the accounting software for hotel accommodation, there is no bridge between this accounting software for the accommodation and the main accounting software. So they're not able to identify what will be the unbilled revenue or the accrual revenue vis-a-vis what is the total billing revenue. So because of this problem, though tax is getting paid in advance, there is a disclosure error in both the months. So if I have to see only 1 month as a standalone month, I will not have an invoice for this B2C transaction. It is just paid on accrual basis. So this is the issue that we faced, and I was given to understand that this is an issue across. This is followed in many of the big hotels, and GST is paid on accrual basis rather than on invoice basis. Now coming to the solution, to understand what is right. Now section 13.2 deals with the time of supply. If we read section 13.2, it talks about the date of payment or date of invoice if it's issued within the time limit, or date of completion or date of payment, the invoice is not issued within the time limit of Rule 47. So in this case, the invoice is issued immediately on checkout. That's the general practice. So that being the situation, the time of supply or the liability accrues only in the month 2. It has nothing to do with month 1. So here, the correct disclosure should have been in April, I don't pay anything, that is in month 1. In month 2, that is in May, I pay for the entire 6 nights. But yeah, given that this is, I understood that this is an industry practice, so I thought I'll just bring it up here and see if this could create any challenge, legally. And when it comes to, this will not be a problem if I see a financial year as a whole, except for the check-ins that happen in the fag end of March and the checkouts that happen early April. So unless, other than these transactions, there wouldn't be anything on an overall basis if I see for full 12 months. But yeah, if I see for each of the months, I will have this issue. Yeah, any views on this?
Vinay,
Yes, sir.
see, we are also handling a couple of hotels, but I don't follow this practice.
So this,
Okay.
I agree, sir. But when we did this assignment, right, we specifically asked, and we spoke to the other cases also. They also confirmed at least 4-5 we checked, and we got to know that they're doing it on accrual basis.
See, the software recognize the GST liability, posts it on a daily basis. End of the
Yes.
day, from their the front desk application, it posts it.
Right.
So we park it just because the liability is computed, it did not arise. So that would be a reconciliation item. In fact, before we were taking over, this practice was being done, and it was the Big Four which was doing it.
Right.
But this practice was not aligned to my thoughts, and so not necessary that this should be practiced in my view.
Right. So that's what even we also advise saying. You should park it as a GST accrual there's no liability that is arisen to you. Hence, you shouldn't pay in month 1. It is only when the invoice is issued in month 2 that we have to pay tax.
What
Correct.
are they doing when they issue invoice?
So when they issue invoice, so this is the practice, sir. When let's say a B2B invoice is issued, so the B2B invoice gets recognized for 6 nights. Now, because I've already paid tax on the 2 nights in 1 month, the B2C of the current month is adjusted for 2 months. 2 nights.
Balancing figure.
Balancing figure, correct.
This will work when everything is 18%.
Yeah.
And when because of the tariff rates changes, etc., GST rates also undergo change, there will be errors, no?
Right, sir.
Correct.
Correct, sir. You're right. Sure, I'll go ahead. Another issue when it came to hospitality was this Rule 42 reversal on account of sale of liquor. Again, this is all of us know that sale of liquor is non-GST, so this will get considered as an exempt for the purpose of Rule 42. Now here, identification of common ITC was a challenge. So how do we identify what is common ITC for the purpose of Rule 42 reversal? So I categorized two scenarios, use cases where predominantly a discussion can happen. One is where I'm only a restaurant where food and liquor is served. Second is where I have a hotel and I run a restaurant where room, food, and liquor is provided. In the first case where food and liquor is served, I believe everything should be common ITC except for the, this is again considering that the restaurant is paying tax at the rate of 18%, wherein I classify myself as a specified premises, where there's no ITC taken, the question of reversal does not arise. So this is on the presumption that we are paying tax at 18%. Now, in the first case, I think everything should be, common except for the cost of raw material which goes into preparation of food. And we have to do Rule 43 on capital goods as well, because the entire infrastructure is used for providing the restaurant service, which includes liquor as well. Now coming to the hotel scenario, wherein I have room, food, and liquor. Here, identification of common ITC is a challenge. Also considering that we have, they generally sell liquor in room as well through a mini bar that is kept in the room. So should we, how to identify this common ITC was a challenge. Whether do we take the entire rent of the building for the whole building, let's say 10 floors is taken, out of that 8 are for hotel and 2 are for restaurant and this bar. So do we take for the entire 10 floors as common, or do we bifurcate in the agreement itself saying for the first 8 floors, for the 8 floors, the purpose is for running a hotel and then, putting in rooms and all of that. And for the remaining 2 floors, it is for a restaurant and the bar. So by doing that, can we save this rent of 8 floors being tagged as common ITC was one consideration that came up. Second, building maintenance, because this is for the entire building. And again, this is going on per square feet basis of the area that is rented out. So that's another challenge. Then we have multiple accounting softwares and the softwares that are used in a kitchen. We have separate KOT, POS, and we have an overall software which accounts the sales and the consumption that is happening. Plus, Rule 43 on capital goods is also a challenge. So what we suggested was we take the entire turnover, the entire ITC as common, because the percentage of liquor sale is very small. So that would, not cause much of a burden when you do the reversal. But yeah, Rule 43 was a challenge because identifying which capital good to reverse was difficult. So any thoughts on this?
Is it possible to have our own formula for reversal of credit and not turnover based reversal as prescribed in the rule?
Not possible, sir.
For example, if industrial alcohol is manufactured in a sugar factory, 10% is used, let's say 90%, 50% is used for industrial alcohol, 50% is used for alcohol for human consumption. Now, the value addition, etc., if you consider the selling price, although the quantity is 50-50, the value is 90-10.
Okay.
Can we reverse on quantity basis 50-50, or should we go on value basis and reverse 90-10?
Strictly going by Rule 42, we cannot use any other method other than the value. I mean, that doesn't permit us to do it in that fashion.
Suppose we have taken only 50% credit.
Right.
Will Rule 42 at all come into the picture? What if I don't take 100% credit?
So are we trying to say that only what goes into the industrial
Taxable only I will take. Somebody should come and say, no, you have taken more. See, after 36(4)(b) came into this rule book, taking the full credit was mandatory. Prior to this date, I can deduct at source and claim only what is eligible.
Correct, sir.
Then how 42 will come up?
In such a scenario, 42 will, as rightly said, it will not come up because there's no common
In 2
element.
minutes, you contradicted yourself, Appa. Yochna mado.
Sir.
Just now you said it's not possible. I have to follow Rule 42.
Sir, if at the claim itself, I'm able to say that, okay, this is going into, taxable and going into exempt, then that's actually in line with 42 because it says if it is towards taxable, you can take entire. If it is towards exempt, don't take it.
So now somebody has to show that, look, you're taking this much credit, but it is not correct. This building is used for this purpose, etc. Foundation is used not only to keep the second floor up, it is also used to keep the third floor up, which contains the bar.
Right.
I'll keep quiet. Let others comment.
Sir, I would say the quantity based cannot be allowed even at the origin, unless otherwise it is a co-invoice where we are specifically saying that this invoice, because it is a supply. Now, if one supply can be taxable or to exempt, if it is to both, then it has to be value based and not quantity based. So even at the origin, it has to be to the specific supply. Then your 17(1) and 2 would fit in.
So if what's your basis for that? You made a Swamiji type of statement.
When I'm identifying a transaction towards taxable and exempt, I am identifying a transaction. But if I am splitting a transaction into taxable and exempt, then I am necessarily entering into Rule 42.
If you cannot do it on actuals, you follow the best judgment method in Rule 42.
Yes, sir. That's
Rule
how
42,
I would read.
Rule 42 is a rule of is a residual rule.
Correct.
Not the rule of first resort.
Correct. But in the first resort, it has to be a strict, it can't be bias. It's like if you are not certain that accurately this is taxable, this is exempt, then you are going to the residuary. That's how I would read. So the quantity based segregation can happen at 17(2), provided each invoice I am identifying towards it. But if in one invoice I am saying both taxable and exempt in 50%, then I am necessarily going to Rule 42, which is value based.
All right.
Others.
Vinay,
Yes, sir. So again, sir, for that question of 50%, I actually presume that at the invoice level, we can identify how much is for the 50% industrial and this thing. Yeah, the logic was what Venu sir said. At invoice level, if we can identify, yes, I agree, we can do it on quantity basis. But if at invoice level we are not able to identify, then it by default goes into value-based reversal. When you meant that 50-50 example, I actually presumed at invoice level we're able to identify.
So that means that a single invoice is subsplit into T2 credit and T4 credit, huh?
So that invoice would be tagged whether it is for common, whether it is for taxable or it is for exempt. Which would be difficult considering that, there's only one manufacturing process and then both are coming out of it.
Vinay, one more in restaurant, you have said all ITC. What
Yes,
does it mean actually? Like, because generally restaurant are at 5%.
Ma'am, so if we are
yeah.
if we are a restaurant in a specified premises, then the rate of tax is 18%.
Yeah.
So
So all
this
ITC.
reversal was considering that we are at a specified premises. I didn't give that disclaimer before. I have not mentioned that here. So all ITC I meant was your rent, all the ITC other than the raw materials that are required for doing the preparation of food, basically.
Okay.
On this note, I mean, can we really say that at an invoice level, we can bifurcate tax values and reclassify individually into one of the things? Isn't it a common credit and not two categories of credit present in that particular invoice?
No, that is your decision. No, if that invoice is specific to taxable. My view is within the invoice you can't segregate, but invoice you definitely you can segregate between
Correct.
taxable and exempt.
Correct. So it has to be at invoice level and not like further divide the very invoice itself
Yes,
for this segregation.
It's at invoice level, not within the invoice. So once we go into the question of within the invoice, then it goes into value-based reversal in rule. Okay, moving ahead. Another question was, let's take the same restaurant. They are supplying food in the premises, and they're also doing ECO sales, wherein under 9(5), the ECO is required to pay tax on these restaurant services. Now, since I'm a restaurant in a specified premises, I'm eligible to take the entire ITC. So I would have naturally claimed ITC on all inputs and input services, including the ECO supplies, because food is prepared in a common kitchen. Now, because it's an ECO sale, I would have not paid tax on this. Rather, the e-commerce operator would have paid tax on this particular transaction. For this turnover, wherein the ECO supplies are made, the question is, should I do a reversal of ITC? Because on this turnover, I am not paying tax in my hands. So, according to me, section 17(3), which defines or which lays down the scope of exempt supply, does not include any mention or does not include reference of supplies made under 9(5). So the requirement of reversal for Rule 42, which draws reference to 17(2) and 17(3), would not arise for a ECO supply. Further, there's a circular which was issued which clarified the arrangement of an ECO. It said that these ECO supplies shall be considered as an aggregate turnover of the restaurant and not of the e-commerce operator. So this being a turnover in my hands, which is which is taxable at the rate of 18%, and without any condition that I'm supposed to reverse ITC. Considering all this, I believe that the reversal should not be made, even though I am not paying tax on these ECO supplies, but I have got inputs and input services. But this would go against the logic of input being available for making an output payment. Any thoughts
Would
on this?
9.5, would you treat 9.5 as outward RCM?
No, sir, because I think RCM specifically removes 9.5 from its ambit.
Vinay, if you read 16.1 read with 9.5.
Okay.
16.1 read with 9.5. 9.5 says as if the e-commerce operator is the supplier,
Right.
where you're not supplied, and 16.1 says only to the extent of used in furtherance of business of your suppliers, then it won't be a restriction for ITC.
So in that case, sir, whose aggregate turnover is this? Let's forget the circular for a minute.
See, aggregate turnover is only for the purpose of limiting your registration and other purpose. But when you come to the substantial provision, this won't be the correct interpretation.
So we are saying in 16 itself, there is a restriction to claim credit because this is not my supplies.
Yeah, I look at that.
Yes, we can take that argument. Yes. Others on this? Any other views on this? Oh, sorry,
I
in
would
fact,
feel it as an exempt supply, and I'm just looking at the legal backing, but I would say that that is still an exempt supply. I'm not liable to pay the taxes.
Right. My lord, sir, actually, I had written this challenges. I forgot. In fact, 9.5 talks about the ECO being the supplier. So, and moreover, ECO issues invoice for all these suppliers. Effectively, it's turnover of ECO and not of the restaurant. So, yeah. Yes, sir. Venu, sir. Sorry, I cut you in between.
No. I am saying that it's the exempt supply of the supplier.
Right. Exempt is where, again, if we go back to the definition, it says where it's exempted by way of a notification.
Okay. Let me just come back. I would still believe for the ITC reversal, it is a common ITC.
Mm-hmm. So we are saying this is an exempt turnover, this ECO supplies.
Yeah.
Right. Any other views on this?
Concur with Venu, sir.
Sure. Sir, I've actually reached the end. We discussed this first, the passenger transportation. I have actually not, included the arguments for this minimum guarantee. But yeah, only this one bit I can include it and send it to you. But yeah, on this part, I would not want to take because it's half baked as of now. Otherwise, I've covered everything that I wanted to for today's presentation.
So the one point which again the travel agents do is on booking of the room nights.
Right, sir.
This is what most travel agents are still doing. is they take full credit of the hotel and raise the invoice as if it's a hotel.
But
Because they hold the
are they registered in each of those states? Again, that would be a challenge otherwise.
Generally, they take registrations in the property where they have the sole selling license or the thing. So they would be raising the invoice to the customer at 18%, and they will get the invoice from the hotel for the inventory.
So it's like buying and selling hotel nights.
Yeah.
I can include this. I will definitely include this. Any challenge we see there, sir?
Yeah. So the challenge is itself the entry, whether they can fit themselves under that entry and charge 18%, or should they necessarily be at 5%.
Got it.
In my view, they cannot take ITC and they cannot charge 18%. They have to be at 5%. That's my view.
Understood. I will look into this part.
Hey, one nimsha. Vinay.
Yes, sir.
Can you do trading? Can you do trading in hotel inventory when you are not a hotel operator? You are Taj Hotel.
Right,
I will give you 100 crores. I will take 500 room nights and I will start selling it. Can I use 9963 HSN code? Everybody who can do auditing is not auditor, appa.
Correct, sir. So I was just yochane bantu. We have another HSN of this retail trade or something. Retail trade or wholesale trade.
Distributed trade services, retail and wholesale.
Correct. Can we, can we alternatively see that the margin that we earn is taxed under that head?
No, but who knows what is your margin?
Unless we sell, we will not know.
What if you incur a loss? What if you have unsold inventory which you have paid for? Can hotel charge 9963 HSN code for rooms not occupied?
I'll just note it down.
I'll give you another example. Taj Hotel inventory is listed on Make My Trip website. Make My Trip inventory of Taj Hotel is listed on Cred app. Now, what is HSN code each person will use? What is taxable turnover? Who will pay tax on what amount?
1 minute. So can you repeat that, sir? I have MMT. Taj is there on MMT.
Taj Hotel inventory. Let us say Taj Udaipur inventory is listed on MMT website. Okay. MMT inventory of Taj properties is listed on Cred app.
Okay. Got it. So to see this, I have never come across this. I have to see this.
I have also never used Cred app, Papa. Because if you go to Taj, the room is 40,000 rupees rate. Correct. If you look up MMT, it is 35,000. If you buy that same on through Cred, you will get it for 30,000, and if you pay by HDFC credit card, you will get it for 200 rupees. But ನಿಮ್ಮಗಳು ಏನೇನೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ್ರೆ. I only submit this. Let's not look at this as bystanders from a distance looking at what is going on in industry. We must deeply immerse ourselves in the issues of the trade by studying the functioning of this trade. Otherwise, we will come up with opinions where we are not accountable. You have to read explanatory notes to tariff classification of services as to who can use 9963, who should use 9972.
Sir, with the new rate, the explanatory notes would go off, or?
No, explanatory notes will be merged into the notifications.
So there will no longer be explanatory notes.
It will be.
It would be. It would still be read along with it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Anything else, Vinay?
Nothing. So those two things which sir asked, no, I will include that and I'll send it to you. I'll do a little bit of study on that and I'll send it to you. These two things.
Okay, let me share the screen. Sir, looking at, we would be picking up the topics and other things amongst us. Any suggestion from your side on the topics that we can consider for the study group discussion, sir?
I think sir is not there.
Okay, sir is not there. Okay.
Sir has left.
How's
Oh.
Sir is there.
Okay. The ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ.
ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಅದು ಹೆಸರು ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಸಾರಿ ಸರ್. ನಾನು ಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ.
Okay.
Sir, any suggestions that you have on the topics or anything you would want to say, sir?
These 9 topics are there, no?
9 I've just I thought we will as a participants, everyone, we will look at and put something in that.
Good topics like this passenger transport. Whether we can do some more trade specs, sector specific study.
Okay.
Jewelry sector.
Yeah.
Lot of interesting things. All the like we say job work, jewelry, construction, many things are there.
Okay.
Mylar is expert on construction and works contract.
We will request Mylar.
Sorry, Mylar.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, sir. So we will discuss on the topics, dates, and we will continue, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Others, please stay. Okay. Now, topics are listed. What topic you would like to take? So today we have Bhuvaneshwari missing.
Bhuvaneshwari is there, no?
She's there, okay. Okay. Firstly, when sir was asking, Vinay was asking others' views, I don't know, everyone are silent. It gives an indication that, okay, you are not available. I didn't hear Raghavendra, I didn't hear Deepak, Abhishek, Bhuvaneshwari at all today. Sujata madam, once in a while, she messaged one thing. I don't know, that gives a feeling to both the speaker and to others saying that, okay, others are not interested. So that is where sir is saying that I am not interested. Participation is very important. I understand last time in the call we said, okay, we will that we will not switch on the video. Maybe you are in the kitchen, you're still on the bed, whatever. But being available for this call is important. Otherwise, don't even come to the call. No? Why come to the call? Isn't it? Can we take that rule saying that, okay, if you can be in the call, you will be in the call. It is like, okay, you are only wanting to hear and get some knowledge. Then let us say that, okay, this call is not for you. Can we agree on that rule?
Yes, sir.
So may I propose something? Hello.
Yes, sir. You can. You're audible.
Okay. Sir, why don't we mandate this video? We are meeting once in 15 days. We can schedule the time accordingly. We can be available for 1.5 hours. I suppose, sir, because energy is dropping, to be very honest, sir, and I am also the culprit. But what I'm just proposing is, if we all know that we are meeting in once in 15 days, it will be sometimes there that I will not be available. Okay. But whosoever is available in the call will be there with the video. The energy will be in tight. The speaker will feel nice, and it will be a good discussion rather. Just my 2 cents, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree. Like being off video could be exceptional, like if somebody is in kitchen or whatever it is. But being on video should be more like the norm. It's not like everybody should be on video, but at least 90% can be. And if those 10% who are not should be really exceptional, they should have their reasons. And yeah, if we can all be still available.
So if
Okay.
you're
I
learning from
think irrespective of video on off, participation is more important. Yes, we can try that, but then
Yeah, so as Annapurna, you're saying that let us keep being on video, but off video is exceptional. So once in a while, get yourself prepared. Like Tuesday morning, we know. So we will try working out that Tuesday being available. I'm not saying that if you're not, we will disconnect, but at least let us make an attempt. The only request is with the people who are on the video, do not keep moving. Then it would distract others. Be at one place, that's perfectly fine. Yeah.
the questions can be circulated at least 2 to 3 days in advance.
Questions are.
Whatever case study or topic, right?
Now the topics are here.
Madam, Vinay shared the issues 1 week ago only. I think except Shaker, nobody else responded with any additional issues.
Yesterday he had shared, no?
No, last week only he shared when we discussed Tuesday.
The WhatsApp group.
Ah,
This was shared immediately after your circular. This
yeah.
is. Now these are the topics. Okay, so we did cover exempted supply entries of 12/2017. I would say that there is no harm in restating. Okay.
Oh, last week itself.
This is done. This one. All right. So now, Bhuvneshwari madam, you have one topic to be dealt. Okay. Even Raghavendra. So let's schedule topics for the speakers. Sujata madam, what would be your next topic? Sir was saying that yours and Mylar's favorite is construction and works contract. I don't know, sir feels you both are expert in that domain. Mylar.
Any topic is fine with me. All are
Yeah,
news.
okay, sir.
I have no problem. I can do some research and work on it.
Okay, now quickly, some topics I have listed. I want others also to list the topics.
Principle of mutuality, I would prefer to take, but anyway, if, you have already allotted, that's fine.
See, I also, nothing is allotted. Principles of mutuality with a detailed background. Okay. Is where Sujata ma'am.
I don't know.
Next.
I have a topic in mind. I'm not sure if that is a good one or useful one. Then I want to share it. I wanted to share like the strategies which failed for me during the departmental hearing, strategies which work. So what went wrong? Something like that. What do you think? Issue specific only again.
I
To be
don't
excellent.
think at the Bangalore study group it is something, unless otherwise you have a detailed
Yeah, because couple of things I learned from my previous things and implemented it and it worked for me. Something like that. I don't know, but I'm scared also before sir, presenting before sir. But then it's okay. I'll be prepared to get that scolding as well. But if it helps everybody, I don't know. And also, of course, I want to take back like what could have been better and all that. No, maybe like see, sometimes merits work, sometimes technical work, sometimes
this
a
is the
mix.
topic I have scheduled, mindset in presenting before the department.
Rather than mindsetting, deciding the strategy. Deciding the strategy for
winning strategies.
Maybe I'll come up with a proper caption for it, but something like that.
Yeah, so Ashika is not in the group. Mylar.
Yes, sir, same construction, sir. Issues in construction.
What in construction? How do we
issues in construction industry?
Issues in construction industry. So specifically, we will look at what road, government contracts.
Water development we have already done. So.
Or do you think that that itself will be okay? You will include all because when you do something to municipality, to panchayat, something to BBMP, BDA, then something like monthly prestige, then you are an individual contractor demolishing a house, constructing a house.
Okay.
You are doing PMAY, you are doing non-PMAY.
I'll see and include sir, all issues in respect of construction industries. Let it be
okay. Done. All right. So Raghavendra. Okay. So
sir, I can take up OIDR.
Very good.
Venu sir, I was actually doing some reading on this Limitation Act. Is it fine if I take up on that?
Very
like
good.
Those sections which would be relevant
there are some topics on jurisprudence also I want to include. So
okay. Maybe you can put my name for this impact of Limitation Act. Because off late I'm doing some homework on that, so I thought maybe I'll share that as well here.
Yeah.
Sure, sir. Okay.
So when you say topics in jurisprudence, what do you mean?
Yeah, Bhuvaneshwari madam, it is only the lawyer's jurisdiction. So anything, Sujata, except me, everyone are here in the group are law graduates. Maila, Annapurna, I think you.
ಅಯ್ಯೋ
Anything.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಲಾ ಗ್ರಾಜುಯೇಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ.
Hey, Annapurna, Kabra madam is a
Kabra madam.
Hey, no, even I am not law graduate. No.
Howda?
I'm with you.
No, madam is only not law graduate, but she is know all the law subject. That's all difference.
I only know LOSS. I don't know LAWS.
I know father-in-law, mother-in-law.
Doctrine of merger, Annapurna took.
Okay, Annapurna, Srikant, Kabra, doctrine of merger.
Hey, Kabra, hey, bad. Till June, I told na I'll not take.
ಅದು ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಇನ್ನು ಇದು ಫಿಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅದು ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಅಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ.
So for me, I will take up some case law analysis.
Okay. You said actually you want to do comparative study of GST provision vis-a-vis other laws.
It's not actually comparative study. It was basically impact of disclosures or statements that we make under other laws on GST.
You will take it or no?
Okay, either that or analysis of case law, I will just confirm to you.
In now?
Now, is it?
Venu, just small correction. I think doctrine of mutuality is almost close to dead. So probably
Distinguish and tell us that it is dead. You don't need to read. I read for you. Any doubt you can call me. We are okay with it. I am okay with it.
Sir, also you can include parallel proceeding one topic.
We'll tell Ganesh.
State and central parallel proceeding. So actually in RRC, Sai sir has taken that session. It was very interesting.
If you can invite Sai sir for one session.
So parallel proceedings, we can have, it is two. One, after audit investigation, everything is also happening. Parallel it is happening. State is taking, center is taking. Both aspects can be taken up. We will ask Ganesh to take it up. Okay.
ವೇಣು ಸರ್ ಹಂಗೆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ.
ಮಾಡೋಣ. We'll do it. First topic ಹಚ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು
I'm thinking some 5 controversial or landmark Supreme Court case laws.
So that means you will take 111. 5 case laws you will take, but every session you will take one case law.
No problem.
Okay.
Or if 2 case laws are like coming together, maybe 2 I'll take, something like that. But yeah, sounds good.
One judgment itself will take years. So
Yeah, correct.
So 5 case laws I am putting to you.
Supreme Court case laws, yeah.
And you can start with this GICDC Gujarat case.
What is that? GICDC?
Yeah, where there is no GST applicable on assignment of lease rights.
Okay.
Yeah, you will take that?
Yes.
Okay, that's yours. Abhishek.
So you suggest, I was thinking of evidence law, but I don't know what, I wanted to prepare some for, connection of GST with evidence law.
Okay. Okay. Vijay sir, I will.
Clarification issues in passenger transportation, time-based, supply-based. Someone can take Vijay sir is not there. Kuber. Okay, nothing in my name. I can put this for myself also. I'll pick it. What else is missing? Jurisprudence. It is an ongoing. The jewelry industry is there. This is done. Tax treatment on goods lost at job worker side. This I can tell Vijay sir.
I maybe on jurisprudence I will take few chapters.
Yeah. I think everyone have been assigned. Okay, now the dates. So,
sir, in topics, can we have some people who can guide us in management of cases, litigation, data, and all that stuff?
Meaning?
So, can someone guide us how to manage this changes, how to do research?
Siddesh, Kuber.
Okay.
So we have what? 4th March. Okay. Now 4th March is the next session. Who will take?
Venu, shall I leave Venu? I have to go.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, thank
you. Bhuvaneshwari, madam.
April, please, because March I will be traveling quite a bit and the dates are not certain.
Okay.
Venu sir, I need to leave as well. I'm so sorry.
Your date, madam.
Huh?
Your date, your topic. When will you do?
May should be good for me.
Okay.
I'll connect back. Okay, I'll connect back.
Others, give the dates.
Yeah, 22nd you can put.
22nd
May.
27 May, my lord. Okay.
Venu, 1st April beda.
Ayo,
April Fool's Day nalli non-session schedule ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
April ಅಂತ ನೀವೇ ಹೇಳಿದಿರಲ್ವಾ?
Correct, but first beda.
Okay.
For me, sometime in April. April is okay.
Okay. Abhishek?
So that I was thinking June will be better, sir.
Okay. Deepak?
Sir, April is fine, 29th April.
Okay, Raghavendra? Raghavendra, yours is a simple topic. I am putting it to 4th March.
Sir, 4th March. That is just 2 weeks. I have 2 weeks time, sir.
Oh. Yeah, 2 weeks
18th March is me.
Okay, sir.
So I will add one more speaker in these places also. So as of now, we have picked anyone.
So can you please shift me to 24 June? 10 June, there might be a wedding. So 24 June is confirmed. Thank you so much, sir.
4th March, I don't have.
Ganesh, Vijay. So what is pending is Vijay, Ganesh, Viresh, Shekhar. Vinay, your topic and date. Okay, Vinay Karthik left. I will not see. All right. So, yeah, mine, I'll put this as very good. Yeah, I will not pick this.
Mylar, can you take 10th June or I'll take 8th July because 10th June I have marriage anniversary.
June, sir. Okay.
I am moving you to 10th June. Is it okay?
June. Okay, sir. Okay.
Because 10th June I am not there. That's the only reason.
No problem, sir.
Okay. So this many yet to assign.
So is it that BCRS time?
No. My marriage anniversary.
Okay. Because in June there is a BCRS. I'm planning to attend. I'll see.
Yes, in Kolkata, sir, this time.
Yeah. But date is finalized.
16th, I'll also share with you.
16th June, huh?
Sometime.
I'm sharing.
Okay.
It's 12 to 15 June. 12 to 15 June.
12 to 15 June. Okay. Then Mylar, you're available. It generally starts on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah. Done. Okay. Done. I'll share this in the groups. In the group. Okay. Okay, everyone.
Group, when sir?
A group. We have to form the group. Very true. I missed. So let's.
Random.
We are learning Excel also here.
What's the role of the group?
What
is the role of forming group? It's like a review and giving feedback, is it?
We'll keep 4 members in a group. So the role of the group, let me put this here.
Random.
I need to exit, sir.
Now we will have group leaders. We have Kuber, Siddesh, Annapurna Kaba. So
Is it column wise? Like Siddesh is the group leader for the group members, Deepak, Abhishek, me, and Binay. Is that how?
Yeah.
Sir, more group saako, sir. More group saako, sir.
More idana we will put it into. So tomorrow someone comes, we'll do it. We'll do this way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Better.
Okay. So 3 groups. Yeah. So
Siddesh is available, is it? I haven't seen him present in many meetings.
Who?
Siddesh.
Siddesh is only wanting to be available for any doubts, discussions.
Okay.
Now we should, as a group leader, he would work.
Okay.
I'll go and create with him.
Okay, so we can basically take his input for even the structure, the topics to be covered.
Exactly, and while for presentation and other things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So make sure each of your group is doing presentation every quarter. Each of your group member is doing presentation. And when you feel that they are not doing presentation, throw them out of the group. Throw them out of the group itself. Okay.
You have that unique right.
Yeah. My lord, this will be okay, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, done. All right. We'll go with this. Just remove here.
Do we have the liberty of changing the topics after informing you? But sticking to the dates?
Next topic we can take, madam.
Okay.
See now, imagine on 27th May, everyone are joining and I'm saying, hey, I am not prepared. Then not nice, no?
No, what I asked was, do we have the liberty of changing the topic but sticking to those dates? What is...
No.
No?
You pick the next topic to the next date.
Okay.
You have a group that will support you.
Okay.
Okay. This should be good, no?
Yeah,
Yes.
with the formation of the groups and the group leaders, definitely I think the quality of the content and the quality of presentation will definitely improve.
Yeah.
So we'll do one more WhatsApp group for within the group and discuss.
That's yes. Yeah. Done. We will conclude. I will update this document and I will do it right now. Otherwise, I'll also get 4th March, Govendra.
And only one correction, Venu. Not speaking in the meeting doesn't mean we were not available. I was very much available, but I didn't say
Madam,
anything.
it gives a present impression to other that you are not available. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
See, he is specifically asking a question. Do you have a view? You say, I am not getting any other thought itself. I am confused. I don't know what's next. That should be okay. So it's like, imagine you are talking. There's no response from other side.
I'll be dropping off.
Done. Everything is done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Good day.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.